Here's Thirstin right there, my man. Alright. I got a special one. This one's amazing. Thirstin, how are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Can you hear me alright?
Yeah, I hear you pretty good. You're going in and out.
Sorry, yeah. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I see you.
That's good. How you going? How's your family and stuff through the lockdown? Is your lockdown taken off now, or
Nah, I think they're actually gonna go back into another lockdown, man.
that's
Again,
what they've done here?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. First they started blaming all the poorer areas, and now it's just come out that in the richer areas there's been another outbreak as well. So now the whole city's back on lockdown, you know?
yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, I'm on lockdown regardless, man. I be working, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. So you're in Miami full time, yeah? Or do you still go back to Brownsville here and there to see family and friends, or?
yeah, I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm here full time, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You've been in Miami for a long time now, true? Fair few years.
I've been back in Miami back and forth my entire life. My whole
Oh,
family. Yeah,
your family, that's right, yes. I want to say, first of all, welcome to Issues. And thank you so much. Well, it's an honor to have you on my show, man. You're a pioneer.
thank you,
You're an amazing lyricist.
thank you.
I know you used to be a b-boy when you were younger. You grew up with hip hop. I've heard you say it in many interviews.
I,
Fortunate enough
I was
to
born
grow up.
pop, so I got to see it all, you know, from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. When you were younger, when you were a kid, but just before, like, let's say, like, well, we call it primary school here. You'd be a grade school or something like that.
Yeah.
What was the shoe that you seen that you fell in love with that you couldn't have? Mine was like, the first one I got that was grouse. It was called the Adidas Rome, and not the Rom, the Rome. But what was the shoe that made you think, wow, that's an awesome sneaker? You know what I mean?
I mean, from the beginning, man, for me in hip hop, it started with the Pro Ked sneaker.
Yeah,
That probably was the first real hip hop sneaker, man. Pro Keds and Converse. You know, we talking about early
yeah,
80s and mid 70s and things like that. And then from there came the Night Cortez, and you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but them Pro Keds was the first phase of hip hop, 69ers and Pro Keds, and then you know everything else followed that.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's the shape that looks like the Chuck Taylor sort of, but it's the Pro Kid
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
two lines on the side of the front. Yeah, is that the
And
one you talk?
yeah, that's the Pro Can. They also had it with the stripes that were on the bottom. On the
Oh,
sole, had stripes that went all around. That was the 69ers. But it
yeah,
was the same brand. It was the Pro Ked. But, you know, to me, I fell in love with hip hop fashion before anything of hip hop. So the
yeah,
f- always there in existence. You know, it really went hand in hand with the whole culture, man. I mean, it didn't start to really be acknowledged as that until recently, but it's always been there hand in hand even before the culture exploded.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you see, I'll like even if you watch Star Wars, I remember the first time I seen that, and then like you see the fashion there, and it's like, you know, that's what I love about it because it's like people got what they could get, and then made it look amazing. You know what I mean? Like they made it look fresh, and then like you know, it was all from you know, low income areas. You know, a lot of people didn't have money, but then like you see some of the outfits that like even Ken Swift wore in some of those old videos, and you think, wow, like you know what I mean? Like they had pro kids on as well. Like Crazy
Yeah,
Legs was.
those were the styles of hip hop. That was the fashion of the street then. So if
Yeah,
you was somewhat fortunate in whatever way you was able to attain them, you
yeah.
know, that wasn't the stuff we were being invented with. That was our style in New York
Oh
City.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
exactly. At what age did you start breaking?
I think I started breaking around 12,
Yeah,
you know, and I could honestly say, you know, I was addicted and dead serious about it from that age, you know. I
yeah,
would
yeah,
single day, you know, I took it serious. It was a deep passion for me. It wasn't just about trying to be cool or trying to be down. I was overtaken. My whole mentality revolved around breakdancing and graffiti
I
and
used to, yeah,
hip hop. You
yeah.
know,
I used to love
I was.
breaking.
It was like being a crackhead for it, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You either break or you don't break. Like, I remember, like, did you start doing graffiti at the same time as you started breaking?
I started graffiti first.
Before breaking, yeah.
Yeah, graffiti came to me after the fashion. The fashion was always first, and
Yeah,
then the graffiti, and then the breaking. You know, then I touched the turntables and things like that. And then, you know, years later, I eventually became a rapper. I had no idea that I would become a rapper, nor
yeah,
was I interested, you know. I just was a fan and a fiend of the music, you know.
yeah. I've seen an old video on YouTube where it's you and two of your friends, and you're in an apartment room, and you've got the mic, and you're wearing these fresh like white outfits, man, and you're just freestyling when you're I don't know, I think it's in your teens. I think do you know the video I'm talking?
Yeah, I was like 16 years old in that video. The funny thing is, like, I wasn't trying to be a rapper back then either. My friend who was the DJ Shy Rock, he was an actual DJ. So that was a music studio he was in, and he used to go there to rehearse his
Yeah,
DJ. And he invited us one day to just hang out with him, and we were just playing with the microphones, man. It
and
wasn't, and it was all freestyle for the top of the head. And you know, I still have that tape, and it's like an
sick.
hour and a half long. And you know, I watch this sometimes, and I realize that I always had it, man, and I never
Yeah.
knew that. I always had it because that was all freestyles off the top of the head, man.
Well, that's how it was back in the days. It was freestyles. You know, I got this rhyme that I'm going to do with one of my mates, and one of the lines I write in, I'm from the era of freestyle and not one takes. You know what I mean? Because that's what it was. Like, it's this. Everything was off the top of the dome back then. Like, if you went somewhere to freestyle, you were freestyling. Like, you'd be talking about what was going on. And a lot of younger people now, when they see it, people freestyling on the radio, it's usually they're doing their bars, which is fine. But like, I remember, like back then,
Um,
it's just,
Even back then, a freestyle was you know something that wasn't on your record.
mm,
You know? So it was both. It was off the top of the head, and it could have been something you written that wasn't on any record or anything. That was still considered a freestyle as well.
uh, yeah, like your punchlines and etc. Stuff like that. True.
Yep.
Yeah. What time? What age? Sorry, not what time. What age were you? Because I know you love Lacoste and all tennis clothes, obviously Fila as well. And uh, what age were you when you discovered Polo and thought, okay, this is what
I
I'm
think
gonna.
I discovered Polo around the age of 15. You know, around the same time I was wearing all the Fila and Lacoste and things like that.
Yeah,
Benetton. 1985 was a big transition year for hip hop fashion. You know, things started
yeah,
to change from, you know, the Lee suits really dominated New York City, and the Puma suits, the Adidas suits. By 1985, things started to change. You know, like even the shell toe sneaker was the top dog. The suede Puma was the top dog for many years. Most from the 70s through the mid 80s, the shell toe and the suede Puma were the top dogs of New York City.
yeah. That's very iconic shoes, especially with b-boying as well. Like the
Yeah.
Puma, yeah, and the shell toes for sure. You know, were you wearing? Were you still like when you started getting Polo? Were you still wearing the same sort of sneakers with it, or did you like
The
move?
sneaker game started to evolve as well. So
Yeah,
you in that year by 85, you know, we was heavy on the Gucci sneaker, the Bally sneakers, the Spot Bills. That's when the Jordans first started to come out. The Stan Smith sneaker was real big, the Adidas. So the shell toe was kind of getting played out. So was the suede Puma, you know?
uh,
So it really started to evolve as far as fashion and the colorful looks. You know, shell toe back then only made white shell toes with different color stripes and things.
yeah,
And
yeah. A lot of
we,
big boys their laces just to make
yeah,
it look like you, yeah.
yeah, I used to iron my laces, stretch them out and all that with the fat laces. I never tied my sneakers, you know.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
all them things was in effect in New York. But by 85, everything was changing in the fashion, you know?
Yeah. And when you say the Gucci sneakers, are they the ones that them S. Carters are based off? You know how
Yeah.
Jay-Z box? They're
Yeah.
based off the sneakers that you're talking about, aren't they?
There was you know, they had other previous ones before that, like the S. Carters were like emulating the all leather Gucci sneakers, but they had other materials before the all leather and things like that. But the same form, same structure. Even when he did the second S. Carter, it was all black. That was emulating the Polo sneaker that was real popular in New York City too. It was a Polo sneaker that had a mold like the Stan Smiths. You know, they made them in white, made
Yeah,
them
yeah,
in black. I have several pictures wearing them online. Like if you see a lot of my pictures from the past, there's
yeah,
several. I have both of those sneakers on.
yeah. Awesome. That's grouse, man. And were you like when and you worked for MTV at one stage as well? Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the time you got out of prison. I
yeah.
think. Yeah. Well, how old were you then when you got that opportunity?
Uh, I was like 24 years old. You know, I was a little.
Yeah, and were you still like when you were young, getting the polo and stuff like that? Were you like when you started doing the rapping after that bit in your DJ's house? Did you start battling straight away other guys, or did you wait a little bit to like build up your skills and then you went to
When
hit
I
the back?
time at the DJ studio, we was in a recording studio. I rapped that day and I never rapped again after that. It was just that day. I didn't
Oh,
start rapping until years later, even after I was working at MTV. After
ah,
I became a rapper. I would say by the time I was 26 years old, I decided to start rapping. It happened the same way, man. I was just having a freestyle session in my house. You know, a lot of dudes used to come to my house
yeah,
and just out, and dudes was in there freestyling, and I jumped in the freestyle, and then I couldn't stop rhyming. And, you know, I couldn't believe it because you know, I wasn't really into the rhyming, but I was a fiend of the music. So I basically, before that, was studying everybody subconsciously. You know,
yeah, yeah,
like music. So when that day when I freestyled and I saw how good I was, that one day turned into an everyday thing. And my skills, you know, I sharpened them up immediately because a month later I was already in a magazine for battling people in public
yeah.
space, things like that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Because one of my mates, New Rock, he's the one that introduced me to your music years ago. I think I was in my early 20s. I went to one of his houses, and you know, we were chopping up some weed and stuff. And then he sat me down. He goes, "Man," he goes, "You'll love this guy." He goes, "His name's Thirstin Howl." He goes, "He's crazy, he's hectic," you know. And then he put it on. He put on spitboxing, man. And I was like I lost it. I was like, who the hell are these dudes? And then he had like footage of yours and stuff. And there's this one bit of footage you're in the alleyway and one of your partners, and maybe rest in peace, died, and dudes are just doing a piece, RIP piece for him. Do you know that footage? It's off one of your early videos or something. And then ever since that day, like he burnt me a copy of your album, man, and I was just like, wow, this dude's. It was just a different style. It was a different style of hip hop. You know what I mean? That no one really did, and you were Puerto Rican, and I was just like, wow, that's like it really changed my way of what style of hip hop I listen to. You know what I mean? Like just like the way you put words together. It's like you've got your own style. You know what I mean? No one can say that Thurstin sounds like him
Yeah.
or sounds like this dude.
I always believed in originality, man, in everything I did. And you know, I was always a hip hop connoisseur of the music and a fiend. So it's like I knew I had to have my own style. I knew I had to be original. I had to develop, you know, my own sense of what I felt my skills had to sound like, man. I didn't want to sound like anybody. So, and you know, a lot of people in the beginning, they didn't get my music because you know I was so comedic and everything, and
Yeah, but that's yeah,
a whole nother, like a whole nother character other
yeah,
than I really was in real life. Because you know I believe if I rapped about what I was really living in my life, then that would be corny. You know, I didn't want to rap about the straight street stuff and you know, I was really in that world, so I didn't see his skills in it. That's why I wanted to come from left field and turn into a character, do really entertaining subjects. You know,
Yeah,
I created a whole persona, man, just for the music, man. I was influenced, you know, by rappers like Dana Dane, Jimmy Spicer, people who had character in their sound and their voice and all that. You know, I wanted to be one of those guys, man, that just took you to a whole nother world in his entity.
yeah, you are, and you did. Like, well, like when you showed me your stuff, like the first, like all those years ago, I was just like, that the first song was Spitboxing, but with all the other guys, your friends on that, I was
Man,
just like, I was sitting there like this, like I was just like rewind it, put it to the start again, put it to the start, and
wow.
like the latest album, Skillmatic, like just man, some of the like the track you did with Prodigy, R.I.P. on that is just like just hectic. Like I just love like the thing about your music is like I love waiting for the punchlines.
Yeah.
You know, like and how you said it, it is like even like some of it's comedic, and that's what I love about it too because you sit there and not everything has to be serious. You know what I mean? Like the skill level is serious, and it's that serious that you can play around and you know what I mean, have fun. Because to me, making music, I think it should be fun.
Yeah.
Making music
It's
when you
always fun, man. Always fun. And
yeah.
the punchlines, they never stop. Like I can have a conversation and spit out punchlines and conversation. It's just a natural thing for me, my wittiness. Even though I'm a very serious person, man. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people that meet me, they can't picture me as Thirstin Howl like in the beginning because my actual persona in real life was different from what
Yeah.
the character was on the song, you know. But it's
Yeah.
like me, this that was my form of skill. That's what I wanted to do, and it really came out like that naturally. I wasn't trying. That's how it came out naturally.
No, that's it, and it did, man. You've done like I said. There's no one else like you. Like no one can sit there and say, "Oh, Thurston sounds like him." You know, it's the opposite. They'll be like, "Oh, he sounds like Thurston." You know what I mean? It's like there's no like, um, yeah. You're just like it's yeah. You just got to. You're an amazing MC, man, and I think like just like yeah, you took the game to another level. I think personally, on a personal level, as an MC myself, you know,
I'm
but
not done. There's a lot more coming from me, man. I continue to evolve, you know. So
yeah,
I'm not one dimensional. You know, as you notice, I'm an extremely versatile MC. You can never predict what my next song is gonna sound like or what kind of style I'm gonna use or flows, you know. And I believe in being that way, being really unpredictable, man. And that's part of my style as well.
well, that's right. Well, even on that same album I was talking about, the song that you write about when you speak about your kids,
Hmm.
you know, and that was like that's amazing. That song, you know what I mean? It's like, and you're right. You like you do like you can do everything, really. You know what I mean? Like that I really like that song. That's just like
I will
song.
always be right here song, right?
Yeah,
I'll always be right here.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's just from the heart, man. Majority of my music is from the heart, man. You know, like I said, it's all natural, man. I love doing it. I'm like right now when you hit me up, I'm in here writing a song right now, man. I don't know how to stop. My name is Thurston, man. It's
yeah,
like addiction I haven't been able to find a way to control yet, man. And
yeah.
sometimes I feel it's like a problem, but I think all the great artists in history have that same problem, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's right. You know, like my partner, she's like an amazing artist, as in drawing and painting. You know, and like she used to do graffiti as well, but now it's more just pen drawings. But once she gets in the zone, like that's it. You know what I mean? Like it's like she can't stop. Like she'll just pump out drawings and stuff. But back to the sneakers of all time, what would you say your top three favorite sneakers are? Like from when you were young to now, like or if you want, I'll do a top five. If three is too small.
I would have to say the shell toe because of its impact, you know, in the whole hip hop culture. And my the way I fiend for shell toes, you know, at that age, like it was a must have. Like, you know, I didn't care about anything else but the shell toe Adidas. The Gucci sneaker, definitely. You know, the earlier Gucci sneakers. I would have to throw the Fila sneaker in there, the classic cream joints. You know, of course, the Polo sneaker, the classic ones, the ones that I said like the S. Carter tried to emulate. They had the white. And if I could say for the fifth one, it would have to be almost everything Nike, because from there, you know, Nike is probably the most sneakers that I purchase. They always have something I like. You know, I'm
Yeah,
a dude like plain sneakers, man. I don't like the wild, colorful 5 color. I like plain sneaker,
yeah,
solid, matches everything. You know, so I would say almost anything Nike.
yeah,
After probably with the Air Max. You know, I've never been an Air Force One dude. That's not my style.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
funny to me. They fit funny. They bend up. You know, it's a lot of things about the Air Force One that,
That
you
you
know,
don't like.
like everybody about them. They never mattered to me. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I guess everyone's got different tastes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's real.
Talking about Philo, I'll big shout out to Philo. He's the best, man. I communicate with him here and there, and gave him a CD. He sent me some
He loves
unreleased
man.
ones. He's the best. I love that guy, man. Like
Great,
he's
man. That's not an act, man. I grew up with that dude all my life, man. I could tell you a million stories about Philo and the
yeah,
crazy adventures he put me throughout life, man. Like,
he's amazing, amazing dude. He's very friendly, you know. Like I sent him a CD and a T-shirt once ages ago, and he goes, I want to email you some music in my album and plus music that no one's ever heard, you know. And he did. Like, and I was just like, man, I just sit there and listen to him. He's one of my favorite MCs, man. He's like so
yeah,
underrated.
I produced the whole album, man. I produced
I
the
did
whole.
that.
Yeah, I
That's
produced it.
I love it. Yeah,
Philo was a rapper way before me, man, and I got a lot of my style from him. You know, I would just go to his shows and stuff and be supportive and things when he was doing his things from the '80s. You know,
oh
and just
really?
yeah, and just, you know, I didn't become a rapper till like 95, 96. And, you know, but a lot of my influence was Philo, because he said the most off the wall stuff, man. That was like, wow, nigga, you crazy. That
Happy
nigga crazy.
like that's really good, man. But and the song you done with him, you know, in the tennis courts when he's all in the velour suits.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that's a sick track too,
That's
man.
off his album too. That's off the album that I produced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's so. Are
It,
you working on a new album now, or
well, who, me?
yeah?
I always work. I never work on an album. I just work on music constantly. So whenever
Yeah,
I putting out an album, I just look at my files and look at what songs might go together. So
yeah,
I,
nice.
like right now, I got several albums in my files. You know, when it's time to drop stuff. So I just wait for the right moment, man. You know, I still never had a record deal. I still don't have major distribution. So
Yeah.
I go according to what's happening, you know, the times or the moment, and then I push out, you know.
No, that's the best, man. And so it's nighttime there. It's evening in Miami. Are you in Miami now or in Brooklyn?
Nah, I'm in Florida.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, I grew up next door, in a place called North Altona. But where I live now, it's actually called Brooklyn. There's
Oh,
a Brooklyn Albert. Yeah,
that's hot. That's hot. I never knew that.
yeah, nah, yeah. And just by coincidence, I don't think it's named after. Oh, hold on, I've got a question here from Hot Dog. What's up? Do you have a top 5 dead or alive list?
Not really, cause you know, like I said, I lived through every era of hip hop, man. So everybody had their time, you know. So I could tell you who was the best of every era, and there's no top 5, you know, in my list. As far as the commercial airspace, you know, they're the same top 5 that everyone else has, that kind of influenced the whole next generations of hip hop, which is Kane, Cool G Rap, you know, KRS-One, Chuck D, Slick Rick. You know, those were the, I would say always they're the top 5, because everybody emulated something of their style, especially Cool G Rap, man. He was like,
He was a pioneer of his style
he,
of
yeah, he's like the father to many people's styles. But you know, there are people before them that actually gave them the influence. You know, the Melly Mel's, the the Kumo D's, the Grandmaster Cats. You know, I was able to listen to all of those dudes when they were in their prime. So I could tell you everybody who was influenced by somebody before them. That's why, you know, a lot of the new generation, you know, I never mock them or anything, but everybody sounds like somebody from the past, but just not as good as them.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Do you
very
like?
who take it to a next level, you know, like if you're influenced by Wu-Tang, you have to be able to take whatever styles they influenced you with and took it to a next level. Like I feel I was heavily influenced by Wu-Tang. You know, they're the greatest group ever, in my
Yeah,
opinion. Especially coming out of New York, they represented what a New York dude was really like. But you know, I couldn't sound like them. I had to take whatever I got from them and
yeah.
take it to another level, you know?
Do you like Ice-T?
Ice-T? Oh, come on. How you gonna ask me a question like that? Ice
He,
OG. Like I said,
he's
I studied everybody, man, east to
yeah,
west. I love Ice-T, and you know, he's also my friend, man. That makes it even greater.
that's the best. Can I show you something? Actually, watch this. You'll freak out. See this?
Wow.
This was stolen years ago from the distribution center, uh, from the warehouse, because you know how they have them. Like obviously, the place that distributed this album here in Melbourne, they had it hanging on the wall when they obviously take them all down. So one dude, apparently the story is, took it from the warehouse because he worked there, and then after all these years, it went from place to place, and then this young lady Laura had it for 5 years, and she gave it to my friend. She goes, do you like Ice-T? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, that's actually the first album of his. And he goes, but do you mind if I give it to Haas? And she's like, why? Does he like him? He goes, man, you don't understand. Like, there's no big Ice-T fan than this dude, you know? And then, yeah, he ended up giving it to me, man. This is like one of my prized possessions, you know? That's
I,
why I had to ask, like
I
Ice-T, you know?
first person I ever seen with a GPS system in his car.
Was Ice-T?
Person I got in his car, I had a GPS system. I could not believe I never even heard of that shit yet. And that's real.
First, man, I wanna say thank you so much for talking with me, man. It's a blessing, man. And like I said, man, you're a good dude. You're an unbelievable guy.
Thank
And
you.
you're a pioneer, and you're an MC, and just like you're an amazing artist, man.
Thank
Just
you.
as a whole and everything. And I just thank you so much for blessing my show and my fans, man, and having a talk with me, brother. And
Thank
you for the rest of your week, and God bless you and your family, man.
All right, I appreciate that. You know, y'all stay safe out there, man. And honestly, I can't wait to get to Australia, man. It's been a dream of mine since I've been a kid, man.
I know for a fact, man, you got so much fans here. Like, there's a
Yeah,
big.
I was a big fan of the Paul Hogan show, man, when I was young.
Oh, Paul Hogan, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about his show. He had the show at the same time as Benny Hill and things like that. And I was
Yeah,
a fan of his
yeah.
show. Always, you know, looked at like I'm gonna go to Australia one day, and they keep stopping me from going, man. I don't know what's going on. They don't want to let me through.
That sucks, man. No, but they'll, man, believe me, man, you got so much fans here, man.
Well, I
So
can't
much.
get out there, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, brother. You be safe, man.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
too. Love to Australia, man. I hope to see y'all soon and be out there and, live in the flesh. And y'all be safe. Take care, man.
No worries, man. You be well, brother.
All right, you too. Thank you.
What can I say? That was amazing. Big shout out to Thirstin. Shouts to everyone watching. Sorry there was no, we were just working that out. I contacted him last month, and I'm still in my pajamas, you know, and messaged him again today, and yeah, that was the best, you know. Before I go, I want to show a new pickup that my lovely lady Deborah got for me, and I know if Stealth is still watching. First, I'll show the box. Star Wars. This is of the new Star Wars line. This is my favorite one. That's how well my partner knows me. And sneakers. She's a very lovely lady. She was buying stuff for herself for her birthday and my daughter, and then she just bought me a pair of sneakers too. These are the R2D2 night joggers. But look at the laces. The laces are sick on these, man. Look, I'll show the sole first because I love the sole. It's got some little space stuff there. You know what I mean? There's a silhouette of the shoe there. Yeah, it's got the little chest thing. I put these on yesterday. These are like, wow, comfy as. They're comfy as. Very comfy. But I'll let everyone go because it's morning. And thank you very much once again, man. Mad love to Thirstin. That was like blessing me with that interview. And I know it was only short, you know, could have spoke for ages, but, you know, he took time out of his night from writing rhymes to talk to me, and, you know, I'll never forget that. So everyone have a good day. Thank you very much.